Welcome back. Today we're jumping into Psalm 95 for our deep dive.
Yes, it's a really fascinating one. It starts off with such um, energy.
It really does. Straight away, this call to sing for joy to the Lord.
Shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. It's not quiet contemplation at this point.
No, definitely not. It's inviting us, right into God's presence with thanksgiving, with music, with song. It's quite joyful.
Absolutely. And there's a clear reason given for why we should do this.
Right. It grounds it immediately because the Lord is the great God.
The great king above all gods. It establishes his supreme authority right at the start.
And his power over all creation. It mentions the depths of the earth, the mountain peaks.
The sea, the dry land, all things formed by his hands. It's a picture of total sovereignty.
It really paints that picture. But then the tone shifts a bit, doesn't it?
It does. After that powerful declaration of who God is, the invitation changes.
How so?
Well, it moves to, come, let us bow down and worship. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker.
Ah, okay, so from shouting and singing to bowing and kneeling. A change in posture.
Exactly. It shifts from celebrating his power over creation to a more humble adoration as our Maker.
And then it gets even more personal. It adds that layer. He is our God, and we are the people of his pasture.
The flock under his care. That shepherd imagery is so strong. It speaks of closeness, of guidance, of belonging.
It really does. We're not just subjects of a great king, but personally cared for, like his own flock.
Yes. And it's right after that connection, that sense of intimacy, that the psalm takes a really sharp turn.
This is where the warning comes in.
Precisely. Right after saying, we are his flock, it hits you with, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts.
Wow, the contrast is stark. From intimacy to urgent warning.
It is. And it doesn't leave you guessing what hardening your hearts looks like. It gives a specific example.
The historical one, Meribah and Massa.
That's it. As you did at Meribah, as you did that day at Massa in the desert, these were, infamous moments.
Places where the Israelites complained and, well, tested God, right? Even after seeing his miracles in Egypt.
Exactly. The psalm emphasizes why it was so serious. It says, their fathers tested and tried me, though they had seen what I did.
So it wasn't just ignorance. They had evidence. They'd seen God's power firsthand.
Right. Hardening your heart here seems to mean actively resisting, pushing against what you know or have experienced of God.
Yeah.
It's willful.
Okay, so what happened? What was the outcome of that testing, that hardening of hearts back then?
Well, the psalm is very direct about God's response. He says he was angry with that generation.
For 40 years, wasn't it?
40 years. And he gives the reason. Their hearts went astray, and they had not known my ways. Their inner attitude led them off course.
And the final consequence was severe.
Extremely. God declared it with an oath in his anger. They shall never enter my rest.
That rest often meaning the promised land or God's ultimate peace and security.
Yes, essentially being barred from the destination God intended for them because of their persistent rebellion and hard-heartedness.
Which loops right back to the warning for us, the listeners, today if you hear his voice.
Exactly. It makes it immediate. It's not just ancient history. It's about your response right now when you perceive God speaking or guiding. Would you listen or would you harden your heart?
It leaves you with quite a tension to think about, this deep sense of belonging, being his people, his flock side by side, with this serious warning about the potential consequences of disobedience, of hardening your heart.
It's that blend of intimacy and accountability. How does that tension sit with you as you think about hearing his voice today? Something to really reflect on.